Hello, this is the 42nd issue of Catch of the Day, available on the Branch Talk YouTube channel. And today we're going to continue reading from Trent Wildy's book, A Change in the Priesthood, A Change in the Law. Starting midway, page 12. Clearly, the priesthood described here is not the Aaronic priesthood. Rather, the things said concerning it are the same things said concerning the priesthood after the order of Melchizedek in Psalms 110 and Hebrews. This text also brings to light one of the key differences pointed out by Hebrews between the Aaronic order and the Melchizedekan order. That is, the priesthood after the order of Melchizedek being a priesthood of righteousness, as indicated by the name, can indeed bring perfection. But such cannot be produced by the Levitical order. The reasoning of the author here is this: since the purpose of the priesthood is to accomplish atonement, wiping away, of sins, there would be no need for a new priesthood if the Aaronic priesthood was already accomplishing that purpose without difficulty. But since Yahweh declared that there will be a new priesthood, it reveals that the Levitical priesthood could not accomplish the needed atonement. In other words, Yahweh wouldn't bring in a new priesthood for no reason. Also, since this new priesthood is said to be an everlasting priesthood, and since it is named after Melchizedek, meaning King of Righteousness, it is evident that this priesthood will accomplish the work of atonement. In the remainder of Hebrews 7, the writer expounds more on the differences between the two priesthoods and the superiority of the Melchizedekan order. Having demonstrated from the prophecy that there is to be a change in the priesthood, he has accomplished one purpose, but there is still more to show. Any first-century Jew reading this letter would by this time have seen a fair amount of evidence that a new priesthood is prophesied. But what of the law of Moses? It still seems to restrict the right of priesthood to Aaron. Yes, David prophesied a new priesthood, and both the Testament of Levi and Hebrews are in harmony with that thought. But Exodus and Numbers still state that no one other than the sons of Aaron are to be priests. The next part of Hebrews offers an explanation. Now, the main point of what we are saying is this: we have such a high priest, one who sat down at the right hand of the throne of the majesty of heaven. Psalms 110, verse 1. A minister in the sanctuary, and the true tabernacle that the Lord, not man, set up. For every high priest is appointed to offer both gifts and sacrifices. So this one too had to have something to offer. Now if he were on earth, he would not be a priest, since there are already priests who offer the gifts prescribed by the law. The place where they serve is a sketch and shadow of the heavenly sanctuary, just as Moses was warned by God as he was about to complete this tabernacle. For he says, "See that you make everything according to the design shown to you on the mountain." Exodus 25, verse 40. But now, Jesus has obtained a superior ministry. Since the covenant that he mediates is also better and is enacted on better promises. Hebrews 8, verse 1 to 6. There are a number of aspects in the above paragraph which we must not miss. First, the author of Hebrews tells us that what he says here is the main point of his discussion. And what is the substance of what he says? it is that Jesus is the high priest not of the earthly sanctuary, but of the sanctuary in the heavens. The first evidence given for this is an allusion to Psalms 110 verse 1, whereas we have already seen one Yahweh tells the other Yahweh, who in verse 4 is sworn into priesthood after the order of Melchizedek, to take his seat at his right hand. Since Yahweh dwells in his tabernacle in heaven, it is evident that that is where this event takes place. Thus, it becomes plain that the priesthood after the order of Melchizedek, according to Psalms 110, is a heavenly priesthood. The author of Hebrews then points out that if Christ were on earth, why is this? Well, as he says, there are already priests who offer the sacrifices prescribed by the law. And who were those priests? Page 14. The sons of Aaron. And since Jesus was not of the sons of Aaron, he could not be among them and offer sacrifices in the earthly tabernacle. You see, the laws which restricted the priesthood of the sons of Aaron were only ever given in relation to the earthly tabernacle. This is apparent in all the which give such commands. Take Numbers 18:3, for example, which says that if a Levite who is not descended from Aaron approaches the altar, he must die. What altar is it speaking of? None other than the altar of the earthly tabernacle, correct? What all this means is that the law does not in any way restrict someone who is not among the sons of Aaron from being a priest in another sanctuary. In fact, in order for someone to honestly use the passages of the Pentateuch, which restrict the priesthood to the sons of Aaron, to attempt to disqualify Christ from being the high priest in the heavenly sanctuary, they would have to demonstrate that those passages indicate or dictate that only the sons of Aaron can be priests in the heavenly sanctuary. And of course, those passages say no such thing. They only speak of the earthly sanctuary. In fact, the Pentateuch never portrays any human beings dwelling or ministering in the skies. The law only ever restricted the priesthood to the sons of Aaron for their particular priesthood. This is brought out in the following verse. So you are to appoint Aaron and his sons, and they will be responsible for their priesthood. But the unauthorized person who comes near must be put to death. Numbers 3, verse 10. Footnotes at the bottom of page 13. Footnote number 12. The word here, tupos, means type, pattern, or model. Footnote number 13. It must be remembered that the English word heaven originally meant the sky. It is from Old English, hephon, which came from the Proto-Germanic hibin, which both also meant the sky. Moreover, the Hebrew shamayim and the Greek orenos, the words translated heaven, also simply mean the sky or the skies. Check all that out. Take care.